Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you my best bets for tomorrow's horse racing action, where we're going to be starting a brand new month. Looking forward to getting into that, and the jumps racing resumed at Southwell tomorrow. They've got a nice card there actually, with some decent racing for summer jumping, and we'll be giving you a couple of tips for those. Also as well, I'd like to say we have had a profitable month for June. We've had some memorable occasions along the way. Dubai Station winning at 25-1. That really did save our month. That was a really good winner earlier in June. Royal Ascot was a pretty good week for us. We had a lot of each way thievery going on with the extra places. We had a lot of close calls. We had some nice winners though in that, with the shape of Palace Pier, the Learjet, Tactical, which was part of a massive gamble. We had a few winners at Royal Ascot along the way, but we had a lot of good each way thievery going on. And then Saturday was definitely the highlight of the month for me, with Caravan of Hope winning the Northumberland Plate, and we had a few extra winners on the day and a 50-1 each way coming in too. So it has been a profitable month for us. I know the last couple of days have been frustrating, especially if you've only just started following me. It's a long-term game, but overall, hopefully, if you follow me, you are going to make a profit if you do like to have a little saver on my tips. But hopefully we can take our form that we've had so far in June into July. We've got some good racing coming up. We've got the Epsom Derby in the Oaks, the Eclipse at the weekend. We've also got the July Cup as well, the Newmarket July Festival, if that's still going ahead. Some nice races in the next few weeks, hopefully. And like I said, hopefully we can translate that form that we've been in, where we've been up in profit for June, and keep it going for July. But just quickly recapping on our selections today, I know some of you like me doing that. It all started for us really in the 2 o'clock at Doncaster with the Great Air, and that was really disappointing actually for Kevin Ryan. I thought this horse, he wasn't like a massive drifter in the market, but he was weak before the off after being quite solid. But he drifted out to, I think it was 10-1 in the end. And that was really bizarre, considering all of his career best efforts will come at Doncaster. You would have thought he liked the track. He's shaped like he needed the run too. Dropping back in trip, you would have thought he would have seen out the trip really strongly. But there was no excuses really, unless something comes to light with maybe the horse's health. I don't know what to say about the Great Air, you know. Yeah, there was some other well-handicapped rivals, you know, but you would have thought he should have been fighting it out in the finish, and it was really disappointing. So I'm not going to lie about that one. I was disappointed with that run there. In the 2:45 at Musselburgh, our nap Desert Ace just couldn't really get involved in the race, you know. It did look a messy race maybe on paper, but I really did fancy him to go very close. He was well handicapped, you know. He had a fairly good reappearance run under his belt. Paul Midgley's team have been going all right. And again, another frustrating tip there. In the 5:15 at Leicester, Whiff Waff, well, I think loads of the form has gone completely out the window, as you might have seen on social media, and also might be aware that Leicester, they've actually got no starting stalls. They're doing the old traditional flag starts. They're walking in, and I think you're getting a lot of bizarre results there. And if you're trying to look at horses getting away to a good start, you know, from the stalls, those ideas with the draw, they just kind of go out the window. And yeah, Whiff Waff couldn't land a blow in the race. Really very disappointing. At the current time of recording, this is just being done around about 6:45. We still have 2 tips to run in the 8:45 at Leicester, and then in the 9 o'clock at Chepstow. It's my lay of the day at Leicester in the 8:45, and then my long shot runs in the last race at Chepstow. So we still have to see how those results go, but fingers crossed they can do well for us. But we'll get straight into the tips for tomorrow. We're actually going to be going to the opening race at Southwell tomorrow with our first tip on the board. I'm going to be putting up my extra tip here in the shape of 9-0-2-1-0 in the 12 o'clock at Southwell. I hope that's how you pronounce it, for Harry Cobden and Paul Nicholls. Now this horse is in the colours of JP McManus, and you wouldn't have thought that it would be rated 104. You would have thought that this horse was definitely a graded performer, but he's been a bit of a, not a head case, but I think he's not been straightforward for connections. And I was reading some quotes actually from Paul Nicholls earlier, saying that really he's probably always should have gone on good ground, and he hasn't had good ground too much in his career, but he's definitely going to be getting that tomorrow. And I think if he replicates his win where earlier in the year he won quite nicely at Southwell, he's a major player in this race for sure. And I just think that Paul Nicholls has found a good opportunity for him to get his head in front. He might be one that could definitely go on a roll, I think, over the next few weeks or something. If he does get a win, I definitely think he's got scope to improve. He's still quite young as well, to be fair to him. He's 6 years old, and if he does relish this good ground at 11-4, he could still make a mockery of that mark of 104. And I think he's definitely got a good chance. And Paul Nicholls' team, yes, even though they're mainly a jumps, he's a legendary jumps trainer, as you know. He's actually been going all right with his yard form, considering he's actually had a few flat winners. He had a couple of flat winners, I remember, that were ridden by his daughter Megan at Pontefract a couple of weeks ago. So he can get them ready first time out. And for me, Nineohtwooneoh definitely has a solid chance tomorrow, currently at 11-4 at the current time of recording as my extra bet. We then go with another extra tip, which runs in the 310 at Southwell, in the shape of Byron Flyer for Will Kennedy and Ian Williams. Now this horse is quite a classy horse actually. Bit like Who Dares Wins in the fact that he's a classy chaser, classy hurdler and a classy flat horse. He's had a return on the flat. He's not quite as good as Who Dares Wins, but he's had a return on the flat when he finished in 4th place at Newmarket, and I thought he ran incredibly there. They just got him out, blew the cobwebs away, and probably were building up maybe to target the summer plate at Market Raisin, I think it is. I could see a few of these horses in this race tomorrow going there, but I think the fitness edge will come in handy for Byron Flyer. Off a mark of 134, I think he can be dangerous in this sphere. The key to him is good ground, and last season he was seen over fences to good effect. He won some nice races at Worcester, and then at Ludlow he put in some good performances, and he's actually rated higher over fences than he is over hurdles. He's rated 139 over fences, but off a mark of 134, I think he's definitely got some scope off this mark. It's workable, and he's actually got some good form from his hurdle career. He bumped into the likes of Paisley Park once when Paisley Park went on to go on his unbelievable run for Emma Lavelle when they met at Aintree in 2018. So he's got some good form going back through his name. And even though the yard of Ian Williams haven't had a winner in the last couple of weeks, I think Byron Flyer tomorrow at 13-2 represents good each way value, and I think that this could be his first winner in a little while. So for me, with a good ground, a workable mark, race fitness, there's a lot to like in his favour, and at 13-2 with 4 places on offer, I think he's definitely got a good chance of going very close and making the frame. So he's going to be my second extra tip. We then go for Loader's Longshot in the 320 at Musselburgh with a horse called Brewing for Paul Mulrennan and Ian Jardine. Now this horse is currently 14-1, and on paper he does have a little bit to find. But I think he's got a chance in this race tomorrow. I don't think it's that particularly strong. And he was running over a trip last time that was too short for him. He ran over 1 mile and 2 furlongs, and the ground probably wasn't ideal. Even though it was described as good ground at Redcar, you actually go back and watch the race. And if you remember when they were racing that day, it was actually raining, and the rain was starting to get into it. So I think the ground was against him there. And for that run, the handicapper actually dropped him £6, even though he wasn't disgraced to be probably dropped that much, in my opinion. Maybe it's going back through some of his earlier form. But yeah, off a mark of 46, he can be competitive. He's won flat races before on the turf, off a lot higher mark. And going up in trip tomorrow to 1 mile and 4 will suit him. He's a horse who likes to be up and handy. I think that will definitely suit him. I think Musselburgh sometimes can be quite hard to come from off the pace. It was definitely today. You want it to be handy in a lot of the racing today if you were watching it. And I think he's got a good chance tomorrow of going close. Also as well, Ian Jardine's team, they had a big price winner today, and he definitely can get them ready and win at big prices, you know. And I just think, like I said, there's quite a bit in this horse's favour tomorrow, even though he is a big price in the market. And I think he can give us a good run for our money and definitely make the frame each way. So that's why I'm going to put him up as my long shot tomorrow, and hopefully he can do the business for us. We then go to my nap over the Irish Sea in the 4:55 at Leopardstown for the Group 3 Derrinstown Filly Stakes. I wouldn't normally go for a maiden here, but I am going to. I'm going to put So Wonderful up as my nap, currently 15-8 at the current time of recording, as the best price available for Aidan O'Brien and Shamie Heffernan. Now this horse has got the best form in the race, placed in the Irish Guineas, Irish 1000 Guineas, and then finished in 4th place in the Coronation Stakes behind the likes of Alpine Star, Quadrilateral, Cloak Spirits was in that race, so some good fillies. she brings Group 1 form to the table, and I have to ask myself, are any of the fillies in this race capable of running well in Group 1s? And to be honest with you, I don't think they can. So Wonderful is the best rated horse in the race, got an official mark of 108. And I think if she runs anywhere near that level, she'll be too good for these. Even though she remains a maiden, I think Connections have found a good race for her. Shamie Heffernan and Aidan O'Brien are in good form at the moment. You know, so there's a lot to like about this horse's chances, and I think it's definitely the one they've all got to beat. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if this horse maybe could touch even money come post time tomorrow. I think the backers will be out for it, so definitely one to keep on side there, and that's why it's going to be my nap of the day. We then go to my next best, which runs in the 7:15 at Kempton on the all-weather with a horse called Mackaar. Now this horse is currently 4-1 bookmakers at the moment, just recommending the win bet for Andrea Zaney and Roger Varian. This horse actually, I thought, has been a bit maybe underlooked in the market here, and I think actually could potentially be favourite. Now this horse has got a good record on the all-weather, 2 wins from 3 starts, and then was running on turf and was running okay, ran in a listed race at Chester on its final start last year behind Vivid Diamond, who did boost the form somewhat to run a good race at Doncaster, but back into a handicap now, looks good. Already had a reappearance run, but probably needed it, to be fair, and that was quite a warm race when it finished in 4th place at Newbury. It's been dropped a couple of pounds by the handicapper to a mark of 92. I think it's capable of running to that level, and if Andrea Zaney can get it into a good prominent position, I think it can bounce back to winning ways on the all-weather, and that's why it's going to be my next best. We then end with my lay of the day, which comes in the 8:45 at Kempton with Global Hope for Oisin Murphy and Gay Kellaway. Now Gay Kellaway, I think, is a really underestimated trainer. I think she does all right with the horses she has on her hands, and Oisin Murphy, even though he is champion jockey tomorrow, I think sometimes you can't always take it for granted that he's been booked, even though obviously his agent will want him to get winners because he wants to fight and to retain his jockey's title. But this horse, you can currently lay it for 3.8 on the Betfair exchange. Just going to recommend a win lay bet, but I think maybe going to the all-weather isn't the right move for this horse. It's not got the greatest record on the all-weather, 0 from 6, and it looked like quite a trappy contest, to be honest with you. There's quite a few horses in here that have got better all-weather form and could maybe bounce back. There's some horses here that maybe are now well handicapped and some horses that could take a step forward. And if you're talking in normal bookmaker terms, this horse is actually 3-1 with some bookmakers. So I would definitely look at an alternative if you don't want to have a bet on the Betfair exchange in this race. You know, I think it's just because it won last time at Newbury and things went its way. But I think that horse is more effective on turf rather than the all-weather, and that's why I just think tomorrow that I would want to be against this horse. And for me, I think there's others with more likely chances. So that's going to be my lay of the day tomorrow, and fingers crossed he doesn't quite cut it on turf, cut it on the all-weather, and he can maybe do it on turf in the future. But yeah, they're my 6 best tips for tomorrow's race in action. So just recap quickly. In the 12 o'clock at Southwell, 9:0210 is my extra tip for Paul Nicholls at 11-4 and 12 o'clock at Southwell. In the 3:10 at Southwell, we go with Byron Flyer for Will Kennedy and Ian Williams, 13-2 each way with 4 places on offer. We then go to my long shot in the 3:20 at Musselburgh with Suffolk Brewing, 14-1 each way. We then go back over the Irish Sea for the 4:55 at Leopardstown with my nap, which is So Wonderful, currently at 15-8, and that's just going to be a win bet only. And we then go to the racing in the evening at Kempton on the all-weather with a horse called Mackaar in the 7:15, which is my next best for Roger Varian. And then my lay of the day comes in the 8:45 at Kempton with Global Hope. Currently can lay it at 3.8 on the Betfair exchange, and that rounds things off for tomorrow. So if you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe here on my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on a video. Also as well, if you want to be part of that Telegram page that I've told you about before, just click the link below. We're getting quite a nice community now. I think someone won £16,000 today from a little accumulator or something that they did. So if you want to be part of a few tips from a nice little community now of punters, just click the link below, and you just need to download the app and it will take you to the group chat. So do that if you haven't done so already. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do, where my handle is at LuckyLoaders15. And also as well, if you want to check out my website for a full portfolio of my work, my website name is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. Please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners to the start of July, and we'll be seeing you soon.
you.